You're using As Directed. Welcome back. We're looking at pets. And guys, hands up who owns a cat. OK, a few cat owners out there. Who owns a dog? Well, there we go. More than half of us own a cat and 1 in 3 of us own a dog. That's official. And when you visit the supermarket, there's shelves and shelves of food, treats, fake mice and health products. But does Fluffy really prefer mackerel fillets in a tuna jus to organic lamb and rice? Doesn't taste too bad. Do you want to?
I'm just eating.
OK, Alex, you
appreciate the offer.
But seriously, Alex, you're a vet. Actually, bloody good. Alex, you're a vet. What should we be feeding our cats and dogs?
A well-balanced, rounded diet full of vitamins and minerals and lots of good protein sources.
OK. And how? I mean, I'm a consumer. I'm out there. I'm busy.
Yeah.
How do I know that that's a balanced diet? I mean, that's.
Well, not sounding like a broken record, but read the packaging. While you're eating that, read the packaging.
I'll put that down.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, I've had enough now.
And I guess then go from there, do a bit of research. So look for an international accreditation company called AFCO. They come on board and look at scoring the food, I guess. You can have an AFCO approved food, which is where they've met the minimum possible standards.
And if we pick this up, I mean, straight away, in fact, over here, there's an AFCO thing there. So that's a shorthand for the consumer. That's balanced.
Exactly.
That's all you need to feed Fluffy.
Look for that. Now, one step above that, if you see that on there, it's actually AFCO tested. That means that the food is getting regularly checked and monitored by AFCO, and that's sort of one level of quality higher. So that's even better.
So that's the minimum, though. So is there an idea that I should be giving Fluffy something else?
Well, it depends. You know, you mentioned Fluffy, and if we focus on cats, a lot of cats actually like routine. So they don't like a lot of change, and you could bring home a whole lot of sort of variety of stuff, and they're just going to go back to the one product. You've sort of got to be careful not to transpose your own emotions onto Fluffy.
Well, let's talk about my emotions, because this is actually not bad. But I mean, does the cat really need tuna with prawns? I mean, or is this a have? I mean, well, what about a good old mouse?
Yeah. Well, mouse in a can, it could be a new product for you. You try it?
I'm not sure I'll be tasting that, but
no,
I mean,
well, exactly.
you know, we are being marketed an amazing array of flavours. I mean, does the cat actually care?
I think ignore the flavour so much and look at actually what's been put into the product. Okay, look at the protein source, the carbohydrate source. You know, is it full of heaps of wheat, or have they used something a bit more digestible like rice?
And what's wrong with just buying the cheapest stuff on the market? I mean, let's face it, there is such an array of products, and there's cheap and cheerful, and there's very expensive. Is there anything wrong with just getting the the right pack of 18 kilos of doggy bites?
I think you know, in life, just like with all other things, you're going to get what you pay for. Okay, so I think it's misleading, and especially with what you just said, where you're talking about 18 kilos. You know, if you're looking at weight, that can be very misleading as well, because it doesn't equate to nutritional value. So you could get another bag of food that was only 9 kilos, cost exactly the same amount, but its bioavailability was much better, and so they were able to absorb the nutrients a lot better.
Thanks for your tips, Alex, vet, and stick around, because we've got an expert panel to test if pets prefer expensive or cheap food. We set up an expert panel to trial 2 foods, similar flavours but very different prices. Select chicken and liver in gravy is 55 cents for 100 grams. The Purina chicken and liver pate a whopping $2.29 for 85 grams. We asked Fred, an 8-month-old kitten, to try them out. That's the gourmet option in the purple bowl. The budget option is in the red. Here comes Fred. Oh, and he's straight into the expensive stuff. A determined chow down for 1 solid minute, and then, hello, he spied the other option. And he's into the cheaper version, which he's just as happy with, but only for 20 seconds. Then, it's back to the expensive stuff. Next up, Louis, a Labrador cross puppy. His choice, select tender chicken from Food Town and Science Diet chicken entree, only available from vets and specialist pet stores. Select supermarket version is in the white bowl, Science Diet, and the stainless steel one. It's a split-second decision. First, the cheaper version is inhaled, and then the Science Diet. Well, that's so quick, we'll call it a draw. What about Snickers, a 4-year-old Burmese? This time, it's the Select chicken in gravy versus the posher Science Diet. Select is closest to the camera, Science Diet at the back. Snickers is on the approach, and he's straight to the more expensive Science Diet. He doesn't deviate. Our final panellist is Charlie. She's an Italian Mastiff. Her options are the select dog food versus the science diet, both chicken. The science diet is at the back, the select option is closest to the camera. Charlie's in, but she's leisurely about it, and it's the science diet that's woofed down, closely followed by the select. So the panel has chosen in our highly unscientific experiment. Cats prefer expensive, and dogs, well, they'll eat everything. Cheaper, just as good as the expensive stuff. What does it all mean, if anything? Well, let's find out. So, Alex, what we saw there, the cat's a bit more finickety than the dogs. Is that generally the way it works?
Definitely. And dogs probably are into a bit more variety as well.
Can you feed a cat dog food and vice versa?
If you feed a cat dog food, you'll kill it. Okay, because they're obligate carnivores, so they have to have certain things that dogs can do without, such as taurine. So within a month or two, they'd literally be having seizures and dying. You could theoretically feed a dog cat food, but it's very high in protein levels. It's going to put a big load on their kidneys, so it's not ideal.
Is obesity something you see day in, day out at the clinic? I mean, is it a problem on the front line?
Definitely, yeah. Most studies show that about 40% of our pets in New Zealand are overweight. A smaller proportion of those obviously are actually obese, dangerously obese, where it's affecting their health. So we see it a lot, yeah.
Well, look, as a rough guide, let's stay with dogs. I mean, how much should you feed a dog like Austin? I mean, what sort of daily intake would Austin be chowing his way through?
Well, he's still growing, so his nutritional requirements are pretty high. You could be looking at anything from 3 cups twice a day for him, possibly.
3 cups of dry food?
Yeah.
Twice a day? Gee, you're going to motor through that,
mow through a packet like that, especially where possibly you've got to look again at the calorie density, and it might not be that high. You've got to figure that out. So that's going to vary between the different brands, and you've got to sort of go a little bit by what's written on the packet, and then, as I say, adjust to the individual dog. Yeah, I guess the other thing you've got to watch with dogs like him is that because these are large breed dogs, large breed and giant breed dogs, you don't want them to pack on weight too early. So while they're growing, you want to keep them reasonably slim because they're going to put a lot of force through those growing joints, and you can really sort of exacerbate problems with their joints. So that's something else to watch for.
What about an average sort of size cat? I mean, what should you feed a cat every day?
Yeah, probably with a cat, I guess. Do you mind if I steal some of your food?
No, get into that. I won't. No,
okay.
that's yours. Sure? No, knock yourself out.
You're full. With a cat, I guess let's put a cup's worth in here. Oh, it's probably that's too much. So we'll get some out. So